Hey guys, Steve here at Without Code. Today I'm going to show you how to link up your existing domain name to your published Without Code site. So I've got a blank site on screen here. This site is already published. So that's the first thing you'll need to do is before you can link up a domain, you need to make sure that the site is actually paid for and published on the web. I'm going to republish this really quick. Okay, so it says my site is published and it gives me the option to change the site address. That's where you're going to add a custom domain. If I decide not to click there, if I just go up to the info button up here, we have the same option, change site URL. So let's click on that. So next we're presented with the option to use the default domain, which is our site modify subdomain, or you can use a domain that you already own. So let's click that. So now we just need to enter the domain name in here. I'm going to be using the domain graphics.ninja. So let's just take that and let's enter it in here. So www.graphics.ninja, and we click save. So next we're presented with some instructions on how to link up this domain. First it says log into the domain host, go to the domain section and find the DNS editor. Then we're going to create a new cname record with the following settings. It sounds intimidating, but it's actually really easy. Let me show you how to do this on the domain side. So my domain is purchased through GoDaddy, and this is the GoDaddy interface. So within the domain settings, I need to find something that says edit or manage DNS, and I can see that down here. So if I click on that, then it brings up all of these records, and these are all of the DNS records for the existing site. There's also something called name servers. Now, name servers are not going to be used to link up the site to an architect website. However, there is something you need to be aware of. If your name servers are set to an outside location, let's say you've been hosting with Business Catalyst and you've set your name servers to be Business Catalyst servers, you're not going to be able to make these DNS entries on the domain side. Once you've set the name servers to an outside location, you actually need to go to that location to change the DNS settings. So if you're no longer using your Business Catalyst site or your existing hosting, what you can do is just change the name servers, and you can change them back to, in this case, default. And we click save. By having the name server set as the default for the account, it means that the name servers are pointed here. In this case, it's GoDaddy, and your DNS file can also be edited here. So that's an important first step if you're finding you can't edit the DNS entries. Okay, so let's go ahead and enter in that cname record as they showed it. So let me drop back to the instructions, and it says here, create a cname with the host and alias, www, and the destination and target is this. So I'm going to copy this for now. Let's go back to the domain provider, and let's add a record. Now I can tell you right now, I see an existing cname set up here with the exact host that we need, which is www, and right now it's just set to @ which is nothing that we need. So rather than clicking add in this case, we could just click edit. And I'll just delete this out for now so we can start fresh and create a new one. So that's gone. Let's click add. We're going to add a cname record. The host is going to be www, and then it points to paste it in there. That's perfect. This is called timed live. You can leave it set at whatever the default is. And we click save. So creating that single cname entry is all you need to link up the domain that you've entered in the architect side to your actual domain. Now there's a second step to the instructions, and it says if users do not add a www in front of the address, make sure they still see your website. To do this, redirect the base domain to the www URL. So the steps for doing the redirect are going to vary a little bit depending on which domain provider you're using, but let's jump into my GoDaddy account. So the way that we're going to do this within the GoDaddy account is to scroll down to a section that says forwarding. And what we're going to do is we're going to set up forwarding to point our root domain to the www.version. So underneath domain forwarding, let's click add. And now it's going to give us the option to set up a permanent or temporary forwarding type. 301 permanent is the one that you're looking for. Next up, we need to choose HTTP or HTTPS. The S version means that you have an SSL certificate installed on the site, and all architect sites come with a free SSL certificate. However, you need to make sure those are turned on first. So within my site editor, after I published, if I go into the settings panel and underneath Site SSL, it says you can set up an SSL certificate, and all you need to do is click this Generate Certificate button. And that's going to start the process for generating that certificate. There's also a toggle here that says force visitors to use secure connection, HTTPS. So on our end, we're going to require that all visitors are pointed to the HTTPS version. So with that in mind, let's go back to our GoDaddy settings and we're going to set up a forwarding. We're going to set up the HTTPS version and we're going to forward it to www.graphics.ninja. A 301 permanent forward type is perfect. Forwarding only is fine, and we're just going to check this box to update our name servers and DNS to support the change, and click Save. So there you go, we've set up a forward, and it's going to point all traffic that comes into this domain to the www.version. HTTPS is set up properly here, and once our certificate is generated in this box, it says it can take up to 15 minutes. Everything should be working perfectly. We've got our domain hooked up. We've got an SSL certificate installed, which means all traffic is going to the HTTPS version. And we've got domain forwarding set up so that all traffic is going to that www version that we've used here. Now, one thing that's really important to note as well with domain settings is they can take some time to propagate or kind of update throughout the web. And we recommend using this tool. It's called DNS Checker. And what it does is let you confirm that the cname you've set has been updated throughout all of these kind of servers all around the web. So the way that this tool works is we type in the URL we just created. So I have graphics.ninja, just like that. Then I would check to see a cname and click search. So you can actually see that it's already showing up throughout a whole bunch of different servers around the web. So it looks like this change has gone through pretty quickly, and if we hit the site in the browser, it is indeed pointing to our architect site already. So that was really fast. It may not always be this fast. We've seen it take up to 24, 48 hours even, but usually within a few hours, you'll see the change already working. And you'll notice here, if I remove the www, so I just do that and click enter, it is redirecting us now to the proper one. So this is the way to set up your domain settings. It is not part of name servers. We've seen a lot of people entering it in the name servers. That's nothing to do with it. It's all based on this single cname entry and then redirecting the non-www version to this proper one. Hope that makes sense. We're going to include this on our knowledge base as well so you can see it in written form. Thanks again for watching and best of luck publishing and linking up your custom domain. Cheers.